हेलो एवरीवन, वेरी वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग. वेलकम टू टेस्टबुक सुपर कोचिंग फॉर रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज. कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? Yes, so we are going to start. We are going to discuss about the important current affairs through MCQs for RBI Grade B, NABARD, as well as some other supervisory and regulatory bodies. So we'll start with the session. Session की शुरुआत करते हैं. We are going to discuss about the important current affairs in today's session. But before going to start the MCQ discussion, before going to start about the news through MCQs, there is one very important news, and the news is regarding the results of quarter 3. Okay. And that part is really very important. What exactly the quarter 3 is looking right now, so we'll discuss about that. Poor demand hits the private sector investments. That is a heading given by the Hindu. This is a front page news for the Hindu in today's newspaper, and the quarter 3 results are there, and under the quarter 3 results we can see some expected points, basically because there was a higher inflation, there was a less demand in the market, the global fluctuations were there, and all those things was kind of a very bad for the Indian economy. So one of the most important factor is that when it comes to private investment, it is in a negative, like minus 1.41%. If you compare with the last quarter, these private investments are not that good. So whatever the pointers mentioned over here, we'll discuss all those pointers in detail. Another thing which is really very important in the quarter 3 and which is very surprising, like actually, if we'll talk about the new investments. When it comes to the attraction towards the new investment, Rajasthan is at the top of the ranking of all the states, and that is a surprising point. Another surprising point is that usually when it comes to Indian economy, Maharashtra, Gujarat were playing the kind of a bigger role. They were the topmost states when it comes to the overall economic growth, Maharashtra and Gujarat. But now Tamil Nadu become the topmost states. Second number pe Maharashtra and third number pe Gujarat. So Tamil Nadu is at the top of the overall when it comes to economic growth, and when it comes to the new investment, Rajasthan is at the top of the attractive state for the new investments. Other than that, we'll talk about the private sector slowdown and 1.4% drop, so minus 1.4% in quarter 3. Input cost for the raw materials, energy, like I have mentioned, the global issues or the global problems, they created huge impact, especially on the crude. Another thing is higher inflation that also impacted a lot when it comes to the private investment, and that is a bigger problem. Then state government, private investment slowing, government spending, particularly at the state level, is driving overall investment growth. Whenever there is a less private investments, obviously government needs to put more money or more liquidity in the market. That will be the responsibility of the government, and this happens. So if government is putting huge amount of money for the liquidity purposes, of course that it can leads to increase in deficit bhi increase ho sakta hai because of such kind of reasons. That's why every economy always try to attract more and more private investment. They want that there should be increase in private investment, so that the load on the Indian treasury or load on the government treasuries will be less. That is another factor. Now, infrastructure focus, there is a strong emphasis on the infrastructure projects, with the electricity project seeing significant growth, 21.9%. Government recognize importance of infrastructure development for long-term economic growth and supporting private sector initiative. So especially electricity infrastructure is having a significant growth. Now shift to investment landscape, like I have mentioned already, Rajasthan emerged as the leader when it comes to the new investment attraction. Rajasthan is at the top, but overall economy की अगर बात करें, Maharashtra and Gujarat, they are seeing the drop in their ranking, the respective ranking. So Maharashtra was at the top, now at the second number. Gujarat second number, now third number, and Tamil Nadu become the topmost state, which was at the third rank of this overall scenario. Foreign investment spike. Foreign investment has increased sharply due to large steel project announced by the ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel. This is a big thing. Otherwise, other than that, these investments are not also that much kind of attractive, but this huge investment created a kind of a positive scenario. Despite the challenges, the outlook of 25-26 remains optimistic. If we talk about the predictions or the outlook for the next fiscal year, it looks bit optimistic than the present quarter 2 and quarter 3 results. Both these quarters were not that good for Indian economy. Main two reasons: one is the inflation, another is a global scenario or the global geopolitical tensions, and due to these two reasons India was not doing good. Again, we saw huge outflow of the foreign investments, as well as due to US reserves or the US economy's decisions, the Indian currency was also dropping down, and that was another problem. Now, specific points, we will talk about the corporate India's capex slips. Okay, so there is a capital expenditure slip when it comes to when it comes to the corporate sector. Then concern about the inflation input cost, that was a major problem. The role of the state government's role increased because private investments drop. So all those pointers we have already discussed. So that's the Hindu article, a front page article, is really very important for the exam. Like for the next few weeks or for the next few days, the discussion around Q3 results will be very big in the newspapers, in everywhere. So of course, there are some other points also we are going to discuss, some detailed points also we are going to discuss from this particular part. So remember that, शुरुआत आज से हो रही है. Now let's start discussing some MCQs, and we'll discuss few news through these MCQs. The first question on your screen. Who has recently assumed the position of Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer of Indian Bank? Last time we saw this news, we discussed this news when FSIB, Financial Services Institutions Bureau, recommended the name of new MD CEO for Indian Bank. Then Appointment Committee of Cabinet headed by Prime Minister also gave green signal to this name. So what's the name of the person now will become the new MD CEO of Indian Bank? Yes, Indian Bank, first of all, 1907 we created this bank, headquartered in Chennai. And the new MD CEO is Binod Kumar Sahab. So Binod Kumar Sahab now become the new CEO of this Indian Bank. Earlier he was executive director of PNB. PNB के executive director थे, now transferred to Indian Bank as the MD CEO. Again, these names are always decided by or the recommended by FSIB. I will say recommended by Financial Services Institution Bureau, whereas the decision, the final decision will be always in the hands of Appointment Committee of Cabinet headed by Prime Minister. So remember these factors. We'll go to the same type of question or same type of news, and the news is about PNB, Punjab National Bank. So who become the new MD CEO of Punjab National Bank? Same scenario, and the same time FSIB recommended his name and government finalized his name, that is Appointment Committee, and the name is Ashok Chandra Sir. So Ashok Chandra Sir, he started his career as a probationary officer in Corporation Bank. Earlier there was Corporation Bank. So in 1991 he started his career as a probationary officer of Corporation Bank, and now you can see he became the MD CEO of Punjab National Bank, India's oldest working bank. India's oldest working bank. So kind of a very huge achievement. Normally in Indian banks, what are the MD CEOs we are talking about? The public sector banks. In public sector banks especially, either SBI's chairperson or the 4 MDs of SBI or the MD CEOs of all 11 public sector banks. Most of these, means 99% of these are they join the banks as a PO. PO करके banks को join किया, and over the period of time they becoming the MD CEO or the chairman of SBI. So everyone's career is starting like a probationary officer. So it's a bright future for every PO who is joining. So of course join करने के बाद what the way you are going to progress your career, that matters a lot. So there's a good actually growth when it comes to these kind of sectors. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated the Bharat Mobility Global Expo, the largest mobility expo in the country, at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. Which organization is coordinating the Bharat Mobility Global Expo? This expo is on 2 places, Yashobhumi, Dwarka, as well as Bharat Mandapam. So started from Bharat Mandapam, but the most of the new vehicle launch is at the Yashobhumi, Dwarka. So both places are really very important. The question is, which of the following organization is there who organize this Bharat Mobility Expo? 2 ministries are involved basically. The one ministry is Heavy Industry Ministry, another is a Commerce Ministry. These 2 ministries are also playing the vital role. But other than that, the institution which is helping to organize this particular scenario, okay, so यहाँ पे question आएगा, and that institution is Engineering Export Promotion Council is the name of the institution, and that is working a vital role for organizing this particular expo. all types of automobiles, their concept vehicles, their new ideas, their new products they usually launch in this expo. So every year we are organizing this expo. That's why question will be definitely asked. Remember that two ministries, heavy industry ministry as well as commerce ministry, and one institution named as engineering export promotion council. This particular institution comes under the commerce ministry. commerce ministry के अंडर ही ये institution आती है, because export की बात यहाँ पे की जा रही है. ये भी आपके लिए important factor रहेगा. Okay, we'll go to the next question. What is the GDP growth forecast for India by FICCI for the financial year 24-25? Recently, World Bank, IMF, okay, they also give the data about Indian GDP, how will be Indian GDP grow. So, what is the number? What are the numbers given by World Bank as well as IMF? Please give me those numbers also. वो भी numbers मुझे बता दीजिएगा. And according to FICCI, India's GDP will be 6.4% for 25. When it comes to World Bank talked about 25 as well as 26. But when it comes to IMF talked about 26 and 27. So there are some differences when it comes to the financial year calculated by World Bank as well as IMF. World Bank's report is called as a global economic prospect, whereas IMF's report is called as a World Economic Outlook. So remember the names of the reports. These reports are also very important. Now when it comes to the numbers of IMF and World Bank, which I was asking, so IMF was talking about 6.4% when it comes to 26 or 27. What do you think? Okay, and what is the number of World Bank? World Bank का number क्या था? एक बार बता दीजिएगा. Whereas RBI was talking about 6.6% for financial year 24, जो अभी end हमारा होगा. Okay, sorry, 25 चाहिए था यहाँ पे, not 24, 25. SBI talked about 6.3%. United Nations 6.6%, whereas 6.7%. And NSO talked about 6.4%. That will be also very significant. Yes, 6.4% for 26, 6.6% for 27. Okay, very good. Okay, absolutely right numbers. Yes, very good, guys. The most important part is that because these numbers are going to be changed. Of course, after the quarter 3 results, the numbers will be different. Definitely, every organization is going to change their numbers after the quarter 3 results. The most important point is that for the exam point of view is always remember the reports given by the institutions. They do ask question on this name of these reports. That will matter a lot. When your exams will come nearby, जब भी आपका exam नजदीक आएगा उसके 2-3 months or before that exam, exactly if the new numbers are there, then we need to focus on those new numbers. Otherwise, these numbers are, of course, they are going to change. Some organization giving their numbers every month, some organization giving their numbers quarterly. So we need to keep watch accordingly. We'll go to the next question. State-owned Power Finance Corporation has inked an agreement with the Japan Bank for international cooperation for 120 billion Japanese yen loan facility. Which initiative is the loan to PFC provided under? So PFC, Power Finance Corporation, is the government of India's institution. They recently borrowed near about 6,600 crore rupees, and in the case of yen, 120 billion Japanese yen for renewable energy project. Japan already decided one thing, that they are going to provide loan to India only for the environmental or the renewable energy purposes or sustainable development purposes, not other than that. And for that reason, they have one policy. The name of their policy is Global Action for Reconciling Economic Growth and Environmental Preservation. Green is the name of their policy. Under the green policy only, Japan is providing loan to Indian different institutions, and one of the best example is Power Finance Corporation, government of India's institution. They got the funding over here, 120 billion yen, Japanese yen is the answer of this. Okay, so remember that green. The question can be asked about its full form. Other thing which you can use for answer writing is that if there is some question regarding the green funding or some sustainable development funding or anything like that, okay, you can give the example of Japan, you can give the example of green. So that will be really very helpful for answer writing also. Remember that in mind. So answer of this question is B. Which insurance company has recently partnered with Saraswat Cooperative Bank Limited for strategic bank assurance collaboration in Jan 2025? The news regarding bank assurance is very, very famous. Either cooperative bank or the scheduled commercial bank or the small finance banks, they're always having tie-up with the some or the other insurance company so that the customers of those banks can get the insurance facility. And it will be also beneficial for the bank because they are going to get a profitable business from this kind of agreements. So either the banks are creating their own insurance companies, or they are creating the insurance company with some another insurance company in a tie-up, going to create some another company, or they are going to work like an agent. So Saraswat Bank is behaving like that also. So answer of this question is PNB MetLife. So PNB MetLife is one of the very famous insurance company created by the funding of Punjab National Bank. So they created this company, and this company is having tie-up with the Saraswat Cooperative Bank, India's one of the leading cooperative bank. PNB MetLife, Samir Bansal sir is the MD CEO of this company. So bank assurance news are very, very common for the exam point of view. So just remember that. So answer of this question is C. We'll go to the next question. What is the name of the new saving plan launched by Shriram Life Insurance? Shriram Finance is the NBFC having many subsidiaries. The Chennai-based NBFC having one of the very famous housing finance company also. So their life insurance company created a new product. So what's the name of the new product? That is a question in front of you. So Sunishchit Labh Saving Plan they have started. It's a life insurance company. In life insurance company, we usually see one thing that there is a saving facility in the life insurance. So under that itself, they have launched this particular concept. So age 30 days to 60 years, sorry 30 years चाहिए था यहाँ पे, 30 years to 60 years, the plan for of minimal annual premium starting from 30,000 with flexible payment option of 15,500 half yearly, 8,000 quarterly and 3,000 monthly, because it's a saving facility, and plus tax free maturity is also there. Basically in India, life insurances are usually used for the to safeguard the taxes or to get exemption from the taxes, as well as for the saving purposes. That is another aspect here. So answer is Shriram Life Sunishchit Labh. Another big news that e-commerce giant has signed an agreement to acquire fintech lending startup Axio. Axio is a very famous fintech company जो usually loan provide करती है. It's a startup company basically, and now they're already having one partner, and their partner decided to take over this company. So Capital Float was the earlier name of Axio. Now the new name is Axio. Now Axio will be now under the ownership of Amazon. So Amazon to acquire Bengaluru-based digital fintech firm Axio. It's a very common thing. Okay, it's a nothing new, because such a big giant companies are usually taking over on the startup fintech companies. Anyways, Amazon Pay Later is a name, as a concept. Okay, on the Amazon platform, you can purchase things with the EMI, and that EMI facility was actually provided by the Axio. So already they were working with the Amazon from last few years. Now they decided to merge with Amazon. नाम शायद चेंज ना हो, नाम शायद सेम रहेगा. They are not going to change the name mostly. Okay, but you never know right now. Competition Commission of India obviously going to give the green signal, and after that only the official merger will take place. So that is another factor. Yes, we'll go to the next. What is the new name of the Shriram Housing Finance after the rebranding? Shriram Housing Finance got the new investors, and the new investor decided to change the name of Shriram Housing Finance. In 1974, this Shriram Housing Finance was created in Chennai, one of the very famous another housing finance company, and now they are going to get the rebranding stuff, and their new name will be True Home Finance. True Home Finance. So basically, the acquisition is done by the Warburg Pincus and its co-investors. They decided to purchase the higher amount of shares in this company, and that's why they decided to change the name or rebranding of this particular very famous brand. That is a important factor. Shriram Finance has announced completion of the sale of its entire stake, 84.44% of the shareholding, to to Warburg Pincus. So Shriram Finance decided to sell all their shares from this housing finance company. So that's why complete takeover is in the hands of the investment company, and they decided to change the name. Right now the management is same, the MD CEO is same, or the other staff is same. They are not going to change that right now, but in future you never know. So this is the new name of India's one of the leading housing finance company. The next question. Union Cabinet has approved the establishment of third launch pad at the Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota. What is the projected cost of the completion of TLP project? Third launching pad. 4 years they are going to take to create this launching pad, and this will be really very advanced launching pad for our future projects, especially Bharatiya Space Center and the Venus project, as well as the Gaganyaan project, as well as the Chandrayaan 4 project. So for such advanced level project and the heavy loaded launching vehicles we required, and for that reason we required a brand new launching pad. So 4 years they are going to take to build this launching pad, and the total amount government of India is going to spend 3984 crore. That much amount of money government is going to spend to create this launching pad. The complete information is here. So next generation launch vehicles will be the major focus of this third launching pad. And another thing, we want one extra launching pad in case something happen or some wrongdoing is happened, so we can use another launching pad. Basically we have one of the launching pad which was established in 1993, another in 2000 nearby 2010. So we have the launching pads like 30 years and the 20 years background. So this will be the major factor over here. The next, Youth and Sports Affairs Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya urged corporates to adapt one sport during the first ever corporate roundtable conference in New Delhi. What is the primary objective behind the Union Minister's initiative to involve corporates in the sports? So recently, for the first time, our Sports Ministry organized one roundtable conference with the corporate sector. The purpose of this particular roundtable conference being asked in the question. The reason is that we want the contribution from the corporate sector for the development of our sports in the form of CSR, corporate social responsibility. That is a major factor we have. Okay, and in 2036 we are planning to host the Olympics, and for that purpose obviously we required funds, we required financial support. So two things are there. First, CSR for the Indian sports sector, like ICICI Bank mentioned that they are going to help government of India to establish sports centers in rural area. Adani Industries, JSW, Ambani Industries, they are already being the sponsors for Indian Olympic team. Even BPCL is one of the sponsor. Puma is another sponsor. So they are already giving like contributing many funds under the CSR, but now we want help so that India can host the 2036 Olympics. So for that purpose, this first time this roundtable conference was organized by the Sports and Youth Affairs Ministry. So remember that factor. Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya Sahab is the minister of this particular ministry. Another thing which was also mentioned by Mandaviya Sahab is that sports performance by 2047 as nation marks 100 years of independence. So India is planning that till the next or I will say by 2036 agar India mein organize hota hai, so India wants to become the top 10 countries when it comes to the medal tally. Medal tally mein top 10 countries mein hame aana hai. It's kind of a very ambitious target. Looking towards the performance of Indian team in Olympics. In Paralympics, we can say that we can easily achieve that target, but when it comes to normal Olympics, it looks little bit difficult, but we should be ambitious, and that ambition is kept by the government of India. Sorry, I guess the answer of the question is already there in front of you. Indigenously developed micro missile system that is called as a Bhargavastra was successfully tested by at the Gopalpur Seaward Firing Range, Odisha. Which company developed this Bhargavastra micro missile system? And it is developed by Economic Explosive Limited is the name of the company. So Bhargavastra is especially the drone attacks. If there are some drone attacks, if there are some drones which are trying to enter into the Indian security system, so we can just hit them, and for that purpose we launched this particular. So Economic Explosive Limited is basically a Nagpur based solar group. This company created this concept, and which was recently tested in Odisha seaward firing range. There is a Swan drone attack. So what is this? Basically, unmanned aerial vehicle, or the drone is a remotely controlled object. We all know about that. Okay, and such kind of drones recently used while attacking Israel, as well as used during the attack on the Afghanistan. So one of the very famous like tool these days for attacking many countries, and for that reason this Bhargavastra is going to play the vital role. The last question of the day: who has been reappointed as the chairperson of the Executive Council of Prime Minister's Museum and Library Society? Prime Minister's Museum is a very important concept established in New Delhi, was always in news. So he's being reappointed as a chairperson of this particular group. चलो बताइएगा. Yes, answer of this question is Nripendra Mishra, reappointed as a chairperson of the PM Museum and Library Society. So it's again very important. Already this particular group consists of, or the committee for this Prime Minister's Museum and Library consists of Smriti Irani as one of the member, ex-Niti Aayog Vice Chairperson Rajiv Kumar, retired Army General Syed Atta Hussain, then renowned filmmaker Shekhar Kapoor, and Vasudev Kamath from Sanskar Bharati. They are the other members of this particular group or this particular institution. So remember that factor. Now, when it comes to this Prime Minister's Museum Library Society, it was set up by Government of India on the 1st of April 1966. And recently, Prime Minister PM Modi Saab made some changes and asked for the reconstruction of this museum. And very beautifully, it is being created and inaugurated, the new building inaugurated by the Prime Minister like few years back. So now again, remember in 1966 we created this institution. So yes guys, these were the questions of the day or questions for the day. There are some other questions जो मैंने यहाँ पे डाल के रखे हुए, एक बार आप PDF से go through कर लीजिएगा. We'll provide the PDF on Telegram channel. Okay. Now when it comes to the news regarding the newspapers, these न्यूज आर ऑलवेज इन द न्यूज़पेपर. हम कोई भी ऐसी न्यूज नहीं कवर कर रहे जो न्यूज़पेपर के अंदर नहीं है. सारे इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़पेपर्स के अंदर यू विल फाइंड दिस न्यूज. अगेन व्हाट हैपेंस, students are only reading the editorials in the newspaper, and that's why they are not going to find the proper news. Editorial is not that important when it comes to GA part, because for UPSC, if you are preparing for the UPSC, you are preparing for the answer writing, then the editorial will play a vital role. But when it comes to the proper news or proper current affairs, you need to read the whole newspaper, and all these news are from the newspaper, like the Hindu, Indian Express, Business Standard, Business Line. These are the various newspapers. That's all guys from my side for the day. We'll see you in the next